The Trump administration is aggressively stoking tensions with Venezuela and its president, Nicolas Maduro. It's leading to a situation which appears to be creating the conditions that could lead to a military confrontation between America and Venezuela. A major buildup of US naval forces is currently underway outside Venezuela's waters as the Trump administration has stepped up its belligerent rhetoric about fighting drug cartels. It's also labeled Maduro a terrorist cartel leader. All that raises the question of whether the end goal of this is just to counter drug smuggling or potentially change the Venezuelan regime. The United States had a long-running feud and tried multiple times, unsuccessfully at that, to remove Maduro's predecessor, Hugo Chavez. Now, will they be successful with Nicolas Maduro?
Okay, we'll sign right here, right? Sure.
President Trump signed a secret directive last month instructing the Pentagon to use military force against some Latin American drug cartels. His administration has labeled some of these as terrorist organizations. Around the same time, the administration declared a Venezuelan criminal group, the Cartel de los Soles, or the Cartel of the Suns, was a terrorist organization and that Nicolas Maduro was its leader. It has called Maduro's government in Venezuela illegitimate. The United States backed the main opposition candidate, Maria Corina Machado, in the run-up to the last elections against Maduro, but she was barred from contesting after being targeted in a politically motivated case. Eventually, Maduro won in a landslide, and Machado continues to be in hiding in Venezuela. Since the last few weeks, the Pentagon has moved US naval assets, including warships, into the southern Caribbean Sea. In response, Maduro announced last week that he was deploying more than 4.5 million militiamen around his country. He vowed to defend our seas, our skies, and our lands from any incursion. He also urged Venezuelans to actively enroll and join the military. Last week, the White House Press Secretary Carolyn Levitt was asked about the American ship movements into the Caribbean Sea and whether President Trump was considering putting forces on the ground in Venezuela. This is what she had to say.
President Trump has been very clear and consistent. He's prepared to use every element of American power to stop drugs from flooding into our country and to bring those responsible to justice. The Maduro regime is not the legitimate government of Venezuela. It is a narco-terror cartel. In Maduro, it is the view of this administration, is not a legitimate president. He is a fugitive head of this cartel who has been indicted in the United States for trafficking drugs into the country.
US officials say that up to 3 guided missile destroyers would soon be arriving in the region. The naval warships will be targeting boats operated by drug cartels, transporting fentanyl to the United States. Also headed to the region are the 2 Iwo Jima amphibious ready groups, which includes the USS San Antonio, the USS Iwo Jima, and the USS Fort Lauderdale. In all, they carry about 4,500 sailors and about 2,200 Marines. They're expected to head out to sea soon and are likely to arrive off the coast of Venezuela in the next several days. Several P-8 surveillance aircraft and also submarines are deployed to the region. The destroyers that are headed towards the zone outside Venezuelan territorial waters are the USS Jason Dunham and the USS Gravely, both warships which recently featured in the campaign against the Houthis in the Red Sea. These destroyers are equipped with more than 100 missiles, including surface-to-air missiles. They can conduct anti-aircraft and anti-submarine warfare and even shoot down ballistic missiles. Deploying these destroyers against these drug cartels would be like bringing a howitzer gun into a knife fight. The US Navy has long intercepted and boarded ships that are suspected of smuggling drugs in international waters. Typically, those operations are headed by a Coast Guard officer, with the Navy playing second fiddle. But the scale of the forces that the Pentagon is now moving into place, coupled with Trump's order, suggests that the administration is contemplating going significantly beyond law enforcement. In fact, recent developments also invite comparisons to the provocative conditions that preceded 2 important American military episodes in the second half of the 20th century. The first was in the Gulf of Tonkin, where aggressive US naval activity off the coast of North Vietnam led to a confrontation that eventually dragged America to get directly involved in the Vietnam War. That war went on for over a decade, and eventually America had to retreat. It had to withdraw unsuccessfully after the fall of Saigon. In the second incident, which was in December of 1989, then President George H.W. Bush sent more than 20,000 American troops to invade Panama and arrested strongman leader Manuel Noriega. Noriega was convicted of drug charges and spent a considerable amount of time in jail. As per US law, the administration should technically go to the US Congress for authorization if it wants to use military force against any foreign country, in this case, Venezuela. While there are plenty of examples of previous presidents not asking for authorization from Congress, the most notable one was George W. Bush before invading Iraq in 2003. But here's the nub of the problem. The Trump administration has contradictory goals with Venezuela. On the one hand is its desire to use military force against drug cartels and to get Nicolas Maduro out of power, but that's in direct contradiction to its desire to persuade Maduro to cooperate in taking back more and more deported Venezuelan immigrants. Earlier this month, the administration announced that the government was doubling a reward to $50 million for any information that leads to Nicolas Maduro's capture and prosecution. Right now, though, he's unlikely to be caught by American forces anytime soon.
Been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.